Hello YouTube, this is Raintoy. I had a request from a 13C, capital C, R-A-B-E. You wanted me to do a video on riggings, and also on the Swedish pimples, with the minnows. I don't have any minnows, as I'll show you here in a sec. No minnows, just a test tank now, till I get some minnows. So, I'll be doing the riggings that you were requesting, showing you what poles I would use for what lure, and show you some helpful advice on choosing the right spud, ladle to scoop out the ice, auger, and also the best poles. So, without further ado, here we go. Okay. Starting off with some lures and uses for them. Okay. As soon as I can pick him up. This little guy, compared to a penny. As you can see, there's quite a few other lures. Use him for trout, crappies, bluegills, perch, pretty much your panfish and your trout. You might get lucky and catch a few bass on it. Tip them with a few maggots on the hook, just so that they push the feathers down a little. Next we have a lure by, I think it's Marmuska. Can't even pronounce it. Little bead made out of tungsten, followed by a little chain and a little treble hook with epoxy. Looks like a little eyeball. Compared to a penny, not very big. The action, very good though. Except for I got my strike indicator too loose. So here we go. As you can see, it's just bouncing around. That you can catch yourself, if you get a little bigger version, which they don't have, unfortunately, which they would, you can catch yourself your perch, crappies, bluegills, your finicky fish. Okay, next we have the Northland Fireball Tungsten Jig in rainbow color, next to a penny. It'll get you down better, works for just about everything. Your Swedish pimple, compared to a penny, this size works best for perch, crappies, bluegills, and trout. Occasionally a bass will bite, but not very much. Next you have a Northland Puppet Minnow, compared to a penny. Best size for smaller fish. It's about the same size as my Rapala one. Next we have the Lendy Micro Slit Jigs in two sizes. One 32 ounce and one 48 ounce. In different colors. Red, perch, both black shiner and blue shiner, purple, brownish color, and yellow. Those ones work for your panfish. Next we have the, I don't actually have the name on them, do I? It's just a value pack. They're little jigs. Use these for your panfish as well. I also bought the Northland Impulse ones with two rigged hooks already. I've actually got one attached. These ones you use for your crappies and everything. If you can't use live minnows, try them. I've had some success with them. Most of these lures in here are designed for my pan fishing. Okay, now going to the rods. As you've seen in the one video, I was using the Marmish rod for trout. If you type in Marmish, spelled M-A, well, if you look at my other videos, you'll see. Kind of having a blank moment today. Going on to the poles. Light action pole, designed for crappies, bluegills, your panfish. And if you have any of these, you probably know what they're for. These are just little jigging poles. This one I've got a strike indicator with that little tungsten dancer. Due to it only having one eyelet, I put a strike indicator just so I can see better and give it better action. Use those for whatever you want. And we got this pole. It's a small, very sensitive, what they call a micro poles. Generally use those for your bluegills and trout. I actually have another pole, slightly heavier action. I use this for catfish, bass, and my panfish. Okay, going on to your spuds. I have a spud and a ice scoop right there. It's a fairly good sized spud, probably 3-4 feet long. And the ice scoop, it's designed by Northland. What it does is, when it's going down in the water, it collapses, and once it gets underneath your hole, it kind of comes up, and then you just wait for all the stuff to go through. Pull it out, you got all your ice. Comes with its own measuring, all the way up to 2 feet. So, if you got some of those big fish out there, and you got them over 2 feet, yeah, have fun. It does pretty good for scooping out your ice. Now, that's for just clearing out your hole. Once you've cleared out your hole, you really have no use for it. So your best bet's to go with a regular metal plastic one. If you go plastic, you're gonna break right around in there. I don't know how many times I've lost spuds because right in here would break when I was using the plastic handles. The other advantage to the metal handle is they have this. If you don't have a gaff, you can put this down their gills and pull them up, or down their mouth. Also wanted to do a rigging video. You take a Northland rattling buckshot, you do a bit of length of line. As you can see, here's the lure, and there's the jig. It's about as far as you need to go with it. Now you tip that. Of course, this is a little ant imitation thing. Tip this with maggots, worms, whatever. I've got 6-pound test on this because I've been using this for when I go channel cat fishing over at a lake. This one's a slightly light action, but it's also, it's what they call an ultralight, it says on there. But it actually has enough pull to pull in a 5-pound cat, which I've done. So I thought I'd show you that. On the augers, do have an auger. I'm just taking it apart right now. Size 6 auger. You want a size 6 for your panfish and trout, and for testing your holes. If you go over size 6, you're going for your pike and bass, your bigger game fish. Due to the fact that I like to go for trout and panfish, I'm going with that. Do also want to recommend, if you want to do some videos where you are looking in the water and you have an underwater camera and you want a cheap one, I've had this one for a year now. It's a Cabela's underwater camera, black and white, 50 feet of cable. I've had to modify it since right here used to be where the weight was. Now I've had to add this big old clunky thing. But it's just it's got LED lights. It works. I've caught fish with while looking through it. Never made a video because at that point in time I was in the summer. If you want to get some good fishing tackle, go on eBay, type up the lures you want. You can get them cheaper than you can at the store. I also got this at eBay. It's a little fish chart. Tells you what species of fish, what they would bite on, what size line and everything to use. Has a backside, more riggings, plus how to rig some of the baits, ice safety, and basic equipment tips. Before I go any further, I'm hopefully going to be going out later today, maybe tomorrow. Thought I'd let you guys know. And one more thing before I do go. If you do have any requests, please let me know. I would like some more subscribers because it's kind of lonely with only having like 6 or 7 subscribers. The other thing, here's a real good tool tip. Buy yourself one of these. They're called eye busters. You know when you get yourself a painted jig and you got all that paint in them and you can't get it out with a knife normally? Just put the little eye in there, poke, 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 goes through. So, hopefully this year is going to be better. I will be doing another video on cleaning fish for the user 13 capital CARBE. So don't fret. And also one last thing, there's the hut. It's in compact, and behind it's my .22 rifle. But yeah, so like always, be safe out on the ice. Take a buddy with you so you don't fall through and are never found. Dress warm, depending on the situation. Have fun, and always be safe. This is Rain 208, signing out.